What's up, brownies? This is random, but if you agree, I want you to hit follow or subscribe. This Black Love series, is it me or is it more traumatizing watching this than one of these slave movies that they come out with every few years? I'm trying to figure out if they're missing a few words in the title, like was it supposed to be called Black Struggle Love or I love my black husband that cheats on me repeatedly, but I'm gonna stick beside him, or marry a broke black man and love him anyway and hope for the best. Now that's cute when you're in your 20s, early 30s, but after 35, you can't just be marrying for potential. It's gotta be for progress and proof of concept. Is it called I love my wife because she's barely black? I know y'all noticed that. I guess I'm just triggered lately because of all of these black women marrying these homos and hobos and bozos, these homo-hobozos, and getting strawberried and palmered out of their wealth and health. But no couple is perfect, but we can do better than this. Tell me what you think was the best, worst couple in the comments. Now, if I weren't a content creator, I wouldn't be talking so much about the celebrities' lives, but you have to use current topics and current events to grow your brand, right? So just know, listen, stop putting these celebrities on pedestals and making them hashtag couples goals and all of that so that you're all in your feelings when it doesn't work out. What they put out in public is these carefully curated and crafted images. And even if you're a public figure, you do get to have a private life. So anything beyond what you all have already seen in the blogs, I'm not doing a deep dive into these people's personal lives. More so on this channel, we'll focus on trying to get you all away from red pill and pink pill and get you over to that orange pill that you need to take for balance. But let's go back, because I was talking about not wanting to be palmered or strawberried when I was talking about Black Love. So speaking of Shirley Strawberry and Black Love, I thought that it was interesting that her bestie was actually on an episode of Black Love. Tracy Johnson is her hairstylist, her bestie, and she was one of her bridesmaids. And her marriage went about as well as Shirley's did, except for her husband just didn't end up in jail that we know about. But they made a short film about their love story and they did a podcast. That marriage lasted, 3 years? Maybe. They did Black Love. By the time they got to the Black Love after show, I think they were separated and in therapy and on their way down to divorce court. And then I don't know if Shirley is going to have to go down there with her, since apparently her marriage to Ernesto isn't even valid because he didn't get the first one completed before he remarried Shirley. This is crazy. Also, I found it weird that if you lay Shirley Strawberry, Tracy Johnson, and Ebony Steele side by side, they look like they could be sisters, and they have about the same type of look in love. But since we were talking about connections with Shirley Strawberry, you have Steve Harvey here, who took the time that after 17 years of rumors and they never addressed any of it, here is what he did not say. The topic of conversation was, this is the woman that you were with while you were in previous marriages. You didn't say that that wasn't true. And you also didn't say that it wasn't true that Marjorie had been sleeping with another man. Here's the thing. Sometimes with these celebrity marriages, there's really an arrangement in mind, and NDAs have to be signed and so forth and so on. Their marriage is non-traditional. Maybe people are allowed to step out and have a lot of freedom. Here's something that I want you all to consider, and I am not saying this about Steve and Marjorie. I wish them all the best. But here's something that I want you to consider. Men get to the point sometimes where their equipment stops working. If you were in that situation and you really thought that you had your soulmate and your life partner and you all just weren't satisfying each other sexually anymore, if you couldn't perform for your wife, is it still cheating if you all agreed for her needs to be met elsewhere? There's a lot of different things that goes on in celebrity marriages where things can kind of be arranged and understood. Just like we had always heard that Will and Jada had an open marriage. We've seen years worth of footage of Will being on vacations with other women, especially Heidi. That seems like that carried on for years. But when y'all found out about Jada and her entanglement, it was torches and pitchforks and all of that. Y'all thought that Jada deserved a death sentence. You ever notice how when a man steps out, There's always an encouragement for women need to stay strong and you need to fight for your marriage and keep your marriage together. But when a woman cheats, it needs to automatically be over, and men are called simps and all kind of other weird names. But a woman, when she stays, ultimately, that's a virtuous thing. We've only gotten to the point now that women are talking about in public, girl, you need to leave him and you're stupid for staying. But even in those situations, know this, these very same women that are saying that, sweetie, your husband cheated on you, or he's about to, or he's doing so right now. You understand what I'm saying? And you're going to stay just like they stayed. You had Kelly Price out here in her feelings about a marriage that has nothing to do with her, because the thought of Iman and how many times these rumors had been out triggered her, because she knows that her previous husband, and I'm willing to bet money her current one, has cheated on her, and she has stayed under the guise of it's important to try to keep your marriage together. She eventually got a divorce. But when you talk about, men cheating and people blaming the wife and shaming the wife, that's what she was triggered by. Iman hasn't come out and said anything at the time that I'm recording this video. And Tiana just came up and put out a post. We've been separated and y'all stop dragging my best friend. And it shows you how weird it is for you all to be so invested to the point of tears and anger to somebody else's marriage. Some of these we can run through real quick, from the I never thought it was going to work anyway to the I know you effing lying. So right off the bat, if you saw that episode of Black Love, you already knew, Miss Tina, we love you down, girl, but this one wasn't going to work. The way that man was cutting his eyes and the way you was talking real free, we just kind of knew that it wasn't giving what it was supposed to have gave. Same goes with Monique and Chris. If y'all are arguing like this in front of the cameras, it's World War III when the cameras go off. It wasn't giving anymore. Then you have Eva and Mike that we wanted y'all to work after the whole adoption thing and everything, but I don't know if we quite understood your love to begin with and y'all financial situation, so it's not that much of a surprise. But Pap and Rem, flat out, this better be a lie. Now, I don't be rooting for celebrity couples and this, that, and the third, but I want them to make it. Now, my voice is leaving me, so I'm going to end this right here on the Black Love portion, but we can still have a different video conversation about what happens when Black Love steps outside its race and then lowers its standards and values. The way that you all made excuses for Jeannie Mai and moved the goalposts. You always talk about angry Black women. Jeannie has talked about her fits of anger. She's publicly emasculated her first husband multiple times. She was over 40. I guess she didn't hit the wall, though. She was already divorced, so she was another man's trash. She didn't even want kids, and you made her have them. She's social media obsessed, and now she done moved her family in, her mama and her brother, and you're surprised that you have cultural differences with somebody that you all are not of the same culture. You say, don't date the Pookies and Ray Rays. You should have chose better. He was a drug dealer. He was, whatever. But y'all still refer to Jeezy as a high value man. Why? Just because he had a high income? Doesn't make sense. Don't date people with kids if you don't have any. Oh, that only applies when a woman has kids. But y'all like for women to date baby daddies, I guess. And then let's not even get started on how he treated the previous women in his life and his other children. Did his son recover from being slammed through that shower, allegedly? Listen, you all love to give Black women advice on why your Black men don't want you, and yellow bone is what he wants, and women of another race can be even more ratchet, reckless, all of the other things, but you all make excuses for their behavior and give them a pass that you will never give Black women. And the way Jeannie Mai sat on her show with the whole, I want to give advice to the sisters. We need to be submissive to men and not try to dominate and take over. Well, he took over you and still left you with a baby that you didn't want. And now you trying to fight for your life. Not really to save the marriage, but so you can walk that prenup back and get more. But why didn't you expect that from them? We'll make it another video.